tricky thing about keywords is that, or keyword research, is that when you are a small business, when you have a specific audience, especially if you're local, it can be really, really tricky to get accurate numbers for the searches that are going on every month for that particular keyword. So if you use the Google keyword tool or some other keyword tools out there, they might suggest some keywords, but you may struggle by seeing really low keyword search volumes, which means maybe there's not a lot of people searching for that. And that does not mean that it's not a valuable keyword. It just means that it's not a super general keyword and Google doesn't have as much data around that keyword, but that's okay. It can still be really valuable for your business, and it's going to be really valuable for your business the more specific it is to the services that you offer, to the locations where you perform your service. So just keep that in mind when you're using traditional keyword tools, not to be scared away by really low search volumes. Again, that data is not going to be as accurate for more specific terms. So we can get some ideas, but we can't always rely on keyword tools like the Google keyword tool to be able to tell us whether or not that keyword is going to be valuable for our business. Now that we've kind of established that, I want to jump into the 3 different types of keywords that we're going to be using to help your business rank in Google. The first type of keyword that I want to talk about is a brand keyword or a branded keyword. And what that means is if somebody searches for your name or somebody searches for your business name, you want to show up, right? You want to be that first listing. It's funny, when I first built my very first personal website way back in like 2010, I think it was galenmooney.com, which still exists to this day. But that website, I had somebody else with my exact same name, right? Who would have thought? Who ranked above me. And it was so frustrating because I was in marketing. I was, in college at that point, but I was like trying to figure out, how to get my name out there. If I had my name on a resume, if I had my website on a resume, I didn't want people to Google my name and have somebody else come up ahead of me. And it was like some dreamy male guitar player's website with the same exact name as me. So it's like, it was a totally different niche, totally different industry. I really would have confused people if that's where they ended up first. So it's frustrating when you're not showing up and you're not optimizing your website for your name. Now, of course, I do show up first, which is great for my name. And you want to be able to not just focus on the services that you offer and the locations, but also your business name. Typically, you don't have to try as hard to rank for your business name as you do for other keywords, right? Typically, it's less competitive, but again, that's going to depend on your business name. It's going to depend on your personal name, how common that name is. So you're just going to try to, again, make a list of make sure that you have your name and your business name listed on your website. Make sure you have your business name listed in your page title, wherever it seems applicable, so that people can find you if they Google your name or your business name. 2 very important things. Again, not the most important because those tend to be easier to rank for unless your name is really competitive or there's other businesses out there who are similar to you and have similar names. But in general, something we want to focus on, not the most important. The second type that I want to talk about are the service keywords, or the keywords that are specific to your business keywords. So that is what you do, the different services that you offer and the locations that you do them. And sometimes it's a combination of those. So going back to my example earlier, it might be wedding photographer, Boston. It might be interior designer, Portland, Maine. It might be, anything like that, basically, right? Those are very specific to the services that you offer and the places that you offer them. So those are service keywords. Those are extremely important. They tend to be much more competitive, and we need to rank for them. That's how we're going to bring people in. That's how we're going to attract new people to our business, is to make sure that we're showing up if somebody searches our service and our location, or if you're on an online business, more specifically, the services that you offer, the things that you offer. If you're in a competitive area, if you have a competitive niche, all we have to do, if you're struggling to show up for those main keywords, is to get more specific. We need to create longer tail keywords or add more words to our keywords so that maybe we're not showing up for wedding photography Boston because that's super competitive. Boston is a really popular area. Wedding photography is a very broad term. There's probably thousands of wedding photographers in Boston. And I'm just, again, using this industry as an example. It applies to any industry out there. So then what we need to do is we need to narrow that down a little bit. Instead instead of Boston, let's think about what neighborhoods in Boston, what surrounding suburbs of Boston do we want to focus on. That's going to help you rank so much better. A while ago, I was working with somebody in Providence, Rhode Island, and that's not as competitive as Boston, but it was still a struggle for a brand new business to rank there. It's always tough if you're brand new to get your website to rank. So instead, we actually focused on the east side of Providence. And you would be surprised how many new leads that business owner got specifically for people who were looking for the service they provided in that neighborhood of even a smaller city like Providence. And they got leads specifically through those keywords, which is crazy to think about and really cool to think about and exciting that you can still drive specific leads through keywords that maybe aren't as popular, but they're also not as competitive. So it's so much easier to get your website to rank, and you're still going to be attracting people. That keyword probably doesn't even show any search traffic inside of the Google Keyword Planner because the search traffic is too low. But they were getting 2 to 3 clients or inquiries every month from that keyword because it was so specific. And the people who were searching in that area were like, I don't want to travel very far to hire somebody. I want somebody who's local to me. And they were able to connect with those people. They were able to bring them into their world through that keyword. And then they were able to convert those leads into paying clients. So those are your service keywords. Again, if your service is very competitive, if your location is very competitive, drill down. Get more specific. Add other qualifying words to make it, again, more specific. That's the best piece of advice I can give you if you're getting started, if you're finding that you're not ranking now and you want to see how you can improve your rankings going forward. The third type of keyword, or the keyword bucket that we're going to look at, those are industry keywords. You're not just looking at your services specifically. Think about the mindset of the client that you're trying to attract. What other problems are they having? What other questions do they have? What other things do they need help with? How can we serve them, not just by delivering what we do, but also helping them solve other problems in that industry or in that space or related spaces. You might think of these as like complementary keywords, complementary topics and complementary services that maybe you don't provide, but perhaps you could provide some insight, maybe even link to other businesses or other resources, or just create a resource that's valuable for the type of person that you want to work with, who might not be searching for exactly what you do, but they're searching for something that's complementary to what you do. So those are the 3 main keyword groups: branded keywords, your service or your business keywords, and those complementary or industry keywords that are going to be related but not an exact fit to what you do. For those industry keywords, those are going to be really great for blog posts. When you're thinking about, okay, what kind of blog content can I create? You're trying to catch people when they're in the very early stages of looking for somebody who does what you do. Maybe they don't even know they need somebody who does what you do, but you know the mindset that they're in, you know the other things that they might be searching that are related to what you do. So you can pull in those people, bring them into your world, hopefully convert them into a lead or convert them onto your email list, whatever that looks like for you, and start building that relationship so that when they are ready to purchase or when they are ready to hire someone who does what you do, you're there, you're top of mind, and they think of you as they get to that next stage. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is huge, is really knowing your numbers. Looking at Google Webmaster Tools, looking at Google Analytics, and hopefully, if you guys are in my Creative SEO course, you know this already, that you are going to be connecting Google Webmaster Tools to Google Analytics so that you have data from both sides. You have data from Google, and then you have data from your website, or what's going on your website, or what are people actually doing once they get to your website. So we're combining that data inside of Google Analytics so we can see both sides of the picture, how people are finding you and what they're doing once they get to your website. Really, really important here. Now that we have this set up, we can go into Google Analytics and we can see what keywords are people using to find our business. And out of those people who are coming from specific keywords, how likely are they to actually end up filling out my contact form or reaching out to me in some way or staying on my website for a certain amount of time. So we're not just getting more people, we're getting the right kind of people who are more likely to convert into paying clients and customers. I've mentioned this a bunch, but I call this my low-hanging fruit strategy, my low-hanging fruit ranking strategy. And you are looking for keywords where you're already ranking for that keyword. Maybe you're not ranking super well. Maybe you're like bottom of the first page, top of the second page, middle of the second page, somewhere in there, right? You're not top 3 listings, but you're below that somewhere, you're not 75 spot on Google. You're not, 6 pages deep, but you might be first page, second page, maybe to the third page even. But it's driving traffic. People are clearly searching for that keyword because they are coming to your site through that keyword, even though you're not ranking super well. That is a huge opportunity because instead of having to create new content or wondering what kind of content people want, we can go through your existing content and say, hey, this keyword's already driving people to our site and we're not even ranking that well. How can we make whatever page they're going to, whatever page is ranking pretty well, but not great, right? How can we make that page better? How can we make that page more relevant for a particular keyword? There's nothing wrong with updating old content. I highly recommend that you do that, but you have to know your numbers. You're not just changing content for the sake of changing content. You're knowing what keywords that page is already ranking well for, and you are making it even better. You're making that page even better, even more relevant, even more specific to the topic by adding more content, by making that post longer, by improving it over time. SEO is a long-term plan. It is the long game. It is so valuable because you're building up that momentum. You are making changes now that are going to help you 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever it is. And so I want you to focus again on focusing on what's working, what's already working, what keywords are already bringing you traffic, and then improving the content that is connected to those keywords that people are finding through those keywords.